Welcome everyone to our fourth Lunch and Learn. Today we're featuring Mr. Pablo Villarreal. I hope I pronounced that right.
Yeah,
He's
that's
the
good.
co-founder of Claria. Pablo is also a good friend of mine back from our Build Space days. He's a developer. He is a software engineer. Is someone who's passionate about launching projects. And today he's going to talk to us about the projects that he started. He's going to talk about how he launches, writes good copy, and shares his posts into a narrative that can connect with your audience. So, Pablo, I'll let you have the floor. Thanks so much for joining in today and coming to our Unlock Alabama community.
Hey, everyone, nice to introduce myself for the first time today. So I want to, I'm here to basically share my experience, share a couple things that I've learned while building projects. I just want to emphasize that there's no one's an expert in this. The landscape evolves super quickly. But there are some things that usually tend to work that I've seen work in myself and in others. So that's what I come here to share today. Hopefully, it applies to you as well. So brief introduction. I'm a software engineer, passionate about traveling, passionate about connecting. My biggest projects, the ones that I'm going to be referencing every once in a while, are Versa, which is a language learning app that uses AI to help you practice languages with an AI. Cleo, which is an AI browser. This was before ChatGPT and other brands launched the browsers. Basically, you could talk to your tabs, connect your Notion, you could drive and do like cool things. It was pretty cool, actually. I can show you guys one day. And Astral. I realized that while Cleo and other browsers could automate websites, they weren't talking the same language. Basically, the browser always tried to guess what the website was doing. So I developed this protocol where website can expose tools as if they were an API to the browser. Basically, you can say to a browser, hey, I'm this, I don't know, for example, I'm Canva. You can edit files in me, you can edit like slides, you can change colors, blah, blah, blah. Do with this as you want, right? And the browser reads that and is able to use those tools to interact directly with the website. It's a pretty cool project as well, very, very specific though, very technical. I enjoy participating in communities. I participated in Build Space back in the day, as Emmanuel was saying. That's where we met. Actually, we have a little picture here together of our first. Do you remember that? That's pretty cool.
Nice.
And recently I went to Escuelita Maker, which is was created by someone that I met in the Build Space program as well. It was in Mexico, and I came back in November last year, actually. So it was pretty cool. Basically, it's to say that I enjoy building alongside others and connecting and this sort of environment, which I call like the fun side of tech, right? It's not only like solving tickets and working in IT, but it's creating and connecting. So I want to separate my lessons, if you will, here in two aspects. First is the launch mindset, like all the psychological things that we need to think about when doing this, like how to approach it. And then it's like some more practical stuff, which is what I think any launch should have at the very least. Okay. I want to begin by the launch mindset. This is something that maybe some of you can resonate with to some degree. I've seen it happen in a lot of people, and myself included, that it's really hard to launch, right? I'm very technical. Like I write the code and I can build a product, I create an SUI, I create a database, all that. But from that to actually publishing this and putting it in front of others, I mean, that's hard. It takes like that little resistance takes many forms. Sometimes it's just like not wanting to launch yet. Sometimes is about wanting the product to be perfect, even if there's no such thing. So yeah, this kind of avoidance to launch takes many forms, but it's important to recognize it and basically that to overcome it. Okay, like we need to know that there's going to be some resistance to launching, especially if we're technical. Like it's always that dichotomy there. As I see it here is that technically, like literally, when we want to, not literally, but when we want to launch, we want to take off the hacker hat and put on the CEO or growth hat, and get into the mindset and stop caring about the product so much. You don't need to fix every bug right now. You don't need to develop every feature that you have in mind. You need to dedicate time and focus into launching. Okay. Now, with that in mind, launching can seem daunting, especially for the first time you do it, or the first time you do it for each product. And I think a big reason for that is that we tend to see launches as one thing that you need to prepare for. And unconsciously, we tend to believe that basically everyone's gonna judge us based on that launch. It feels like people were waiting for us to announce what we're building, and then they're gonna criticize it or like judge it. But it's not like that. It's often not like that. Launching is a continuous effort. You launch once, you launch twice, you launch to different platforms, you change the copy, you iterate. It's a process, all right? And this helped me reduce the pressure by a lot. So before I'd be like overthinking every single LinkedIn post that I will write, polishing every little UI detail in my product that has zero users, zero revenue. And I would basically dedicate a lot of mental energy into polishing aspects that didn't need to be polished instead of just launching constantly. And the truth is, probably no one's going to care the first time you launch. Probably you're going to post on LinkedIn, on TikTok, whatever. Like maybe it might not get attention, right? Or it might get some attention, but it might fade. The goal here is not to optimize for likes, attention, and not even customers. Right? My idea of a good launch is it's like a discovery process to discover who your true users are, right? So when you treat it as an ongoing process, and when you treat it like research to keep learning from it, that's when when I, from experience, I made the most out of launching. Okay, launching, I call this like an umbrella term for posting on LinkedIn or social media. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, because like the Google, sorry, I could see you, but I cannot see you anymore. One second. Oh, you're all there. Can you see my screen still?
It disappeared. Could you reshare it again?
Okay, that's what happened. Okay, that should be good.
It's up.
So, so yeah, the goal here is not to get users or get paid users or anything per se. I mean, that's beautiful, and if that happens, that's great. But the goal here is learning basically who your users are, and like treat this as like an iterative process. So we don't want explosive growth, and the good thing is that we're probably not gonna get it from the first launch, right? I mean, I don't mean to bomb you down, but like from experience, this usually it's not like that. It's not like people are going to just come immediately after a couple posts. In fact, even like I've talked to people that launch a lot on Product Hunt. I don't do it as much, but some people really like optimize the launch for it. And they've said that even when they have like a really big product product hunt launch, sorry, the attention fades in a couple of days. And people, visit the site, but that converts to very few paying customers. Right? Product Hunt, for those of you who are not familiar with it, is the website where indie hackers go to launch usually tech products. It's more like tech oriented. Usually people that browse the product projects there are into tech, but it's like the site to launch. Right? You should probably consider it as well if your market is in the tech segment. But yeah, people were saying that even if you have like a top 1 or top 2 or top 3, I have a friend that got the third biggest launch in his on the day he launched. He was saying, hey, like this didn't translate really to many paying customers. We got a lot of attention, a lot of visitors to the website, but like nothing happened from it. And yeah, it's good for the ego, and people are like reading my website. They know that I'm building something, but that doesn't really translate to anything. So the goal here is not to aim for explosive growth, but it's just to get the first users some feedback. I'm sure all of you know that feedback is critical at the beginning. Like we may have an idea of what the product is good for, and we may have an idea of what a good product looks like, but it often changes or is tweaked at the very least when we start getting first feedback. So the goal here is launching is an ongoing process to get user feedback. Almost as if you're running experiments. That's the way I like to put it. The thing with launching is like, and with everything really, we're gonna see that when you get to the posting part, this applies there as well. We should really try to impress, meaning we don't want to optimize for making people be like, wow, this is like revolutionary or anything. If anything, we want to keep it very simple. I want to make them understand what it is we're doing. Okay, even if it sounds boring, we want to optimize for people understanding what we're doing instead of using like fancy words or painting the big vision. We're running experiments to see if people like what we're doing or not, to find our first users, and that requires us to be very clear and require people to understand what is we're doing, right? And this last bit learned from it, it just goes back to what I was saying about this being an experiment. You want to launch constantly, see what people respond to, what people don't respond to, what they don't get, what they do understand, and calibrate from it. Calibrate your posts, your copy, maybe even your product. If some feature, it's not very clear what it does, or it's not very useful, you want to calibrate and learn from it. And that's what you need to launch constantly. Like you make some adjustments and you try different things and you launch again and again and again. In fact, there's something that in BuildSpace they'll put a lot of emphasis on, right? On launching constantly, and first on overcoming that friction to launch, but also on doing it constantly. Now I'm going to share some things that have helped me do better launches, more practical tips. Okay, so with all that mindset already established and described, now I want to get into what are a good launch should have. First, the one-liner. And this is a concept that you're gonna see in different shapes and forms. Like some people call it the one liner. In BuildSpace, we would call it one liners. Some other people call it different ways. But the idea here is that you're able to describe your product in one line, right? I mean, not necessarily in one line, but it needs to be very simple, a very short description of what your product does. Yeah. And again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier, that we're not trying to impress here. We're trying to describe and make people understand. I have a good structure, which is, well, there are many structures. You can try different things to see if people get what it is you're building or not. But I have a general structure here that I wanna present you, which is the one I generally use. We want to keep it simple. That's the core here. We want to be able to condense a product into one or two short sentences, right? So I launched Clio, and Clio could perhaps be described as an AI-powered workflow orchestration layer for modern builders, right? It was like for people that love tech and want to try new workflows, anything. But what the hell is this? It doesn't say anything. If you tell this to someone, what do you expect them to understand from it? Clio is a web browser that uses AI to let you ask questions to your tabs. That's it, right? That's it. It's more than that. It has more features than that. Has some things that make it different from other browsers. Like I put a lot of effort into the UI. It's very UX focused. Like I wanted to make it very easy to use, and has a bunch of other things. But in a nutshell, Clio is an AI browser that allows you to talk to your tabs to do cool things. Right? So the structure that you generally use for this is what are you building, for who, if a specific segment, to do what with, what superpower do they get from using your product, right? A couple examples here. The what is it's not like a revolutionary new tool that's going to change the landscape. It's not that. It's a website, a mobile app, a wristband, a gadget, an event. What is it really, right? For who? For students. For example, this was Versa, right? It was a website, a web app for students to practice a language by having conversations with an AI tutor. So what, for who, to do what with, and you can add by doing this differently than competition. This is not set in stone. At the end of the day, you need to apply. You need to do what works for you. But this is a very good starting point that helps you narrow down what it is you're doing. Okay. What is the format? What is it that you're building? A mobile app, wristband, for who? For students. Maybe a mobile app for college students to help them manage their personal finances. And a wristband for long distance runners that uses AI to remind them to stay hydrated. I totally made this up, but it sounds very useless, really. But it paints a picture, you read this and you understand what it does. Maybe not how it works, but really, people really don't care how things work. They care about what they can do with your product, and it's a very good structure to convey that. Now the narrative, right? You have the one-liner. You can explain what your product is, and now it really helps to put things into a narrative, have them follow some structure. And the idea behind this is, oh, sorry, I should have edited this. The idea here is to basically paint a picture in the user's mind as to why this makes sense. Okay. I wanted to explore like a really break down a thing here, a LinkedIn post that I made. I can link it later if you want to check it out. But basically here I'm speaking about Astral, which is the protocol that I made for browsers and websites. Yeah. So the idea here is to paint a picture as to why it makes sense for people to use this, why it makes sense for this to exist, right? We're gonna go over it really quickly. First, I start with a hook, and we're gonna dive into structure in a minute. But here I built the first ever protocol for browser website collaboration, blah, blah. And this is the narrative. Here's like why my thought process to build this. So first of all, the web really hasn't really changed in the last 20 years. We have browsers on one side, we have websites on one side, but then AI browsers came along, and then yeah, they can automate things, but they are only making the best guess as to what they can do with a website. Right? They don't speak natively with a website. Because these websites, because this AI browser became important, now browser website communication becomes more important. Like now it makes more sense than ever to focus on this step, the communication between them. But there's a problem with that. Every AI browser, as I was saying, is only making their best guess, right, as to what the website means or what the website can do. So that's what's failing right now. And then I go until now, introducing my product. This is what it does. This is how I fix that, right? So this is the narrative. I mean, I'm not saying, hey, I built the protocol. It does this. It works by exposing API tools to the browser, blah, blah, blah. I'm not exposing features. I'm telling a story here that makes sense to the user. Even if a user says, hey, like, I don't want to try this, even if they're like, this is not for me, at least they understand where you come from, and they can understand what it is you're doing and why it makes sense to at least some people. Also, it's a lot easier to remember. Like if you read this, it's a lot easier for the reader to understand what is happening and then be able to communicate it or make sense of it, as opposed to just having some features without context. Okay? So the narrative doesn't only apply for a LinkedIn post. It applies for every TikTok video, every communication device that you use, right? Whether it's your landing page, basically anything that speaks about your product, you want it to follow a logic so people can make sense of it. Yeah, make it seem obvious. Like even if it's not for everyone, you want people to know where you come from with this. And then the launch bundle. This is like what things should you have when you launch. This varies. Like as I was saying, you can launch a product and you can make LinkedIn posts or whatever. But there are some things that you should have if you are building something in tech, which is a landing page. Let me share my. I want to briefly go over Clio's. Give me one sec here. Okay. I'm going to share my screen here. So in the landing page, we want, well, again, there's no one size fits all, but there's things that like some guidelines that you should have. Okay, this is the website for Astral, the protocol that I made. It doesn't have the best UI, but I just want to focus on some aspects. First, the landing page, at the very least, we have the hero section, right, where we should really explain what this is without much jargon. And really try to, this is the first thing that the user is going to see. So you want them to, well, be hooked for once, but you also want to be clear so they can understand what you're doing. So Astral is the first protocol for browser website operation. Okay? I'm not explaining, like with the title is not aiming to explain how it works. It's just like what it is. Some people want to put here like what the product can do for them. That's good too. But the idea here is to make it clear for the user. Basically, it should make sense for the user what it is that you're building. So it works like this way. Websites expose actions, browsers execute them, and then users can get to do this. Then I have some context, which is similar to the LinkedIn post that I was telling you. And then I talk more about Astral. And the idea with the landing page is to make it very clear to the user. Well, the here section should explain what is you're doing without a doubt. But here you have more freedom when you can get to explain the features and how it works and be a bit more technical. Yeah. The two things that I think that should be in the website, at least for tech products, is a video demo. Usually, when you innovate or when you create things that are not that common, you want to demonstrate how they work, right? This is like a 3-minute video. It's nothing that long, but basically paints a picture of what it is that I'm doing. And also a call to action, right? So we do want to have a call to action, usually at the beginning and at the end of the website. Basically, when a user sees this, we do want them to do something. Buy, sign up for the waiting list, or apply to become a design partner in this case. Wait. I'm trying to go back to the presentation. One sec. Yeah, it's not letting me share the presentation, so I'm just gonna share my entire screen. Oh yeah, you can see it, yeah?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So another one of the artifacts that you guys should have, as I was saying, is the product video. And the product video, it can be like 3 minutes. It doesn't need to be a whole video essay, but you show your product in action, show what you can do, show what you cannot really put in text, right? Pictures worth 1,000 words. Same with video. Video is like worth like I don't know how many million pictures. So yeah, you get the idea, right? This is to demonstrate what it is you're doing and show up. Yeah, post many videos. I really recommend posting videos because for once they do very well in social media. Like, well, TikTok of course has massive growth, but also LinkedIn prioritizes video. Anything that can get people hooked and stay in your post is probably gonna do better in social media, right? And a video is a good way to do that. I really recommend this tool. I don't know if you guys know it. I don't know if you know Loom. You know? Well, this is like Loom, but better. And it's also free. So with this, you can screen record the screen and the camera, right? So you can record yourself speaking at the same time. But the cool thing is that you can edit the video after you record it. So you record it, you can like just leave it recording and say whatever you want, like do many takes. And then after you edit, after you stop recording, then you can cut the video, you can arrange the layout. Maybe you want to put like yourself in the middle or in the. With Loom, you have to pick where you want to be beforehand. With Tela, you can just record and then you can position yourself related to the video, right? And it's very, very easy to share. You can download it and edit it in CapCut if you want, or you can share the link quickly so anyone can view it. I usually share the link when I'm talking to someone on email. I'm like, hey, like, I don't know, we met at this event. This is what I'm building, and I send them like a little link to the Tela video. Right? Very easy, very, very, very fast, and it's free as well. So on social media posts, this is I don't want to. This is what everyone says, right? Like we should totally do this. I don't have much to add here. We should keep talking about what we're building, and it's a whole different process to building, right? We build a thing, and now we need to take off the hacker hat and put on the growth hack and the CEO, however you want to call it. And we need to tell people what it is we're doing. So really, there's not much advice here. Just keep doing it, hopefully regularly, and hopefully learning from what gets the most interactions and whatnot. Now, for a post structure that has worked pretty well, I want to dissect this post. This goes back to the narrative thing that I was telling you earlier. But anyway, so a good post usually has, should have a hook, especially if it's a text post, right? I build any kind of browser. At the very least, this is meant to make people stop reading and be like, huh, like, what is this about, right? And then we add some context, right? We explain like where we come from. Here's where I briefly explain the same story that I described in the previous LinkedIn post that I showed you. And then I show the problem, right? This is the context, this is the status quo. and this is why it's wrong. This is why something's missing with it. But I have a solution. Right? With my solution, you can do this, blah blah. You don't need to be too deep with it, but just like pique curiosity. And this is my vision. This is where I'm going. I don't need this from you. These are like the steps that have give me like the most views, and I see a lot of people doing on LinkedIn and with very good results as well. I say LinkedIn a lot because I default to posting on there, but it also works on Twitter or X now. And well, it's any structure really. It even works as a script for a reel or TikTok. Right? When I get people hooked, when I provide some context where we come from and why there's something missing with that, and then the solution. Whether you talk about the vision or the big picture, that's up to you. I usually include it in the post, but then you have to have a CTA. What do you want from people? DM me for access, sign up below, whatever, right? And then you post it consistently. You try different narratives. You tweak different things. You test different hooks. That's all I have for you guys today. These are some tips that have helped me, and as I was saying, that have helped other people, like friends, grow as well. And I believe they could be applicable to what you're doing now. I hope it is.
Thanks,
Wow.
Pablo.
Yeah, thank you, Pablo.
I don't know if you have any questions or any comments. If you want to share what it is you're building. I mean, I know we're probably past the time already. Thanks. I mean, due to unforeseen circumstances. But if you want to share a little bit or have any questions, I'll be happy to.
What do you mean, man? This is the first time we've ever met you. We've never recorded before. Yeah. This is.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's got a deja vu.
Just one thing I was gonna say is like, I mean, I took some notes, man, while you're talking. I thought you saying treating your lunches like not like some big thing, but this, I mean, of course it's a big thing, but to like continually do that and treat it as like you're learning more about your potential customers and like just learn through every lunch that you can do. I thought that was really interesting, man. And that's like a really good mindset. So that was great.
I appreciate that. And it has helped me a lot because it kind of reduces the pressure from a big launch, right? And also it's true, like you launch once and probably like people might see it, people might not see it, but you need to keep going with it. Like if you want to grow, you need to constantly talk about this and constantly launch, right? So like, it's better for you to get into the mindset of doing it constantly, experimenting, learning from what works, what doesn't, and then keep doing it again. And if something is imperfect, if a post doesn't need to be perfect, right? That's kind of the idea with this. You just post something and then hope for the best and then repeat again the next day and so on.
Progress over perfection. We're big fans.
Yeah.
We're big fans of that saying, progress over perfection. So yeah, that's like what you described. That's great.
I will actually share that for our Unlock Alabama interns, they have been posting every week. All their projects are officially off of localhost, and now they're building their websites. And they're starting to see the ripple effect in it of the compound effect of posting every week. So for our interns on the call, I would love for you all to introduce yourselves to Pablo and share what you're working on and anything that you have questions about, especially in relation to this week's exercise for building out your website. So don't be shy, please.
Yeah, I could go first. Hello, I'm Natasha Mohammed, a junior cybersecurity major at Talladega College, and I'm building a YouTube channel that's focused on making others become aware of cybersecurity while talking about student life and business. And so far, I think it's going really well. I'm learning how to do content creation. And one question I would ask, like, how do you balance your time, like posting and make constant progress on your app and your Astral?
That's a good question because there are two different jobs altogether, right? It's not like one job, like is it like doing the hacking or whatever you want to call it. It's not like one job, but it's like many different hats you have to wear. I usually set a limit into how far I want to develop the project or whatever it is that I'm building. I'm like, hey, like, this is a good first version. This is what I think is going to be useful for people, like the MVP, you know. I try to stop thinking about perfection, right? Because we don't know. I don't know what perfect is yet. Like this is what I think makes sense, right? And I launch it, and then it's hard for me at least, but I try to forget about it. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna code for 4 days a week. I'm just gonna focus on posting. Maybe when I'm bored, like I do a little UI fix, whatever. Like I enjoy coding, so I always default to that. But I'm not a hacker. I'm not a programmer for this week. Right? So I would say really compartmentalizing is something that has helped me, right? As opposed to doing like a little bit of this and then a little bit of this and the calibrating. I just the context switching is too expensive mentally.
Well, thank you for that. And one thing that you said that really resonated with me was like I should treat the launching as like a research. So I think once we are able to do that, then we can actually learn from our mistakes and to build a better product. So thank you for that.
I appreciate it. By the way, you can drop your YouTube in the comments. I would love to check it out and subscribe.
I will. Thank you.
What about the rest?
I'm good. Oh yeah. So my name is Good Luck. I'm an international
Nice to meet
student from Nigeria, and I go to school at Alabama A&M University. I'm a computer science major, and I'm working on actually a web app called Chess Blind Spot, and it's supposed to help. Oh, sorry about the noise. Basically, supposed to help chess players to improve their skills, basically by analyzing their previous games. So, for instance, let's say I play a match, if I play a chess game and I lost maybe badly, it basically analyzes the game, tells me where I made a mistake, and tries to provide feedback on how I can improve based on the analysis.
I love that, and I would love to try it. By the way, you have a user here. I play chess as well, not competitively, but I'm a big fan, and yeah, I play on chess.com and VChess. But how would I go about using your product? Like, how can I feed my games to it?
Oh, so basically, you just enter your username. You don't even need to sign in, because I figured that signing in actually discourages some people from using specific websites. So you just need to enter your username, then it generates your last 10 game right now. I'm trying to like up that maybe to about 20, 30. But right now, it just generates your last 10 games, analyzes it, and trying to find similar patterns.
Mhm. But sorry, I didn't get it. So I need to play on your website? Or
Oh
on your
no,
app?
so you play on chess.com. So let's say you play a
Alright.
game on chess.com, then you just enter your username of your chess.com game. You enter your username in my apps stuff, then it gets it calls the chess.com API and gets your previous games.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna try it. Yeah, well, I always end up playing the same openings, right? And they work. They don't. I have like some like things that I can improvise with like within them. But I really want to learn more about like different things, like different like openings and different techniques, right?
Oh yeah.
More. Leave the link in the comments as well, so I can check it out later.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll provide the link now.
What about the other two people? If they want to share, obligation, but that'd be cool.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, definitely.
Okay, so my name is Zinat. I am an international student from Nigeria also, and I go to Alabama State University studying biomedical engineering. So my tool is called Paper Play, and it's an interactive tool that allows people to understand research papers. So it breaks the research papers into like learning levels, and you end points after you finish each level. So you can upload the link of any research that you want to, that you trying to get clear understanding on. You upload the link, but it has to be like an open source link, and it just breaks it down.
That's really interesting. So the idea here is to like start from the basic level, and then I don't know if you like
Yes.
press a button or does it have like a quiz or something to move on to the next one?
Yes, there is a quiz to move to the next level. Yeah, but if you fail more than 4 questions, because every level has 6 questions, if you fail more than 4, you have to repeat the level because that shows that you didn't understand it.
Okay. I would like to try that as well. Do you know any website where you can find like open source papers? I know there are some that have like repositories of papers, but I don't know. Do you know any?
Yeah,
Like
you
this
can
one?
check like Nature journals and like NIH. They have like pretty
Mm.
much a lot of open source research papers that, yeah.
And do you paste the link into your product?
Yes. Yes, you
Okay.
paste the link into it.
Okay. That's fun. I'm definitely gonna try it as well. It reminds me of those YouTube videos about like, explaining a hard topic to like a preschooler and then a middle schooler and then like a college
Yes.
student.
Yes. So it kind of uses analogy. So it takes from every section of the research paper, like the abstract, the methodology, and the findings or the conclusions. It takes like keywords from there, explains it, like breaks it down, and uses analogy so that even if a 10-year-old opens like a paper, the 10-year-old can even understand it.
Right. Right. That's fun. I mean, it sounds like something that I would like, to be honest. Like, I'm not just saying this, but yes. I'm very like curious about science or narrative, if you want to call me that. But like, I'm very I like this sort of thing, so I'll try it as well. Did you leave the link in the comments?
Yeah, I'm going to do that now.
Okay. I'm just gonna paste the comments here. And there's someone else, I believe.
If I see Cyborg Turbo's on the call, feel free to introduce yourself if you'd like to. But no pressure if you don't want to.
If not, if he doesn't want to, then maybe you can help me send me the link later of his project, and then I can check it out and maybe if he wants like probably some feedback or anything. Also, feel free to, if you guys want, feel free to add me on LinkedIn, so, or like show me your posts or your launching post. I mean, your launch post or anything you do. Like, I would love to know what you're launching as well. Maybe you can share it later. Oh yeah. Okay.
I got you. Yeah. And also cool thing, they launch every Friday. So they're launching every Friday and they're also writing every Friday too. So
Nice.
they're building in public while documenting in public on separate platforms like Substack and Medium and LinkedIn articles. So they're doing a bit of both, and it's really been awesome to see their results and the fruit of their hard labor. And it's really good to have builders who are in the trenches like yourself sharing like what's working for you. So thank you again for sharing the gems.
Thank you for the invitation, man. I appreciate it. And if there's anything else I can help with in the future, just let me know.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think just like what everybody said, same thing. I was taking notes on what you said about treating it as a research experiment. I'm going to try to adapt that mindset for myself too.
Sounds good. I'm just copying the links here. So yeah, nice to meet you guys. And if you wanna stay in touch or like tag me in your post or show me anything, like I'm all ears.
Thank you, Pablo. Yeah, you're a part of our community too, so feel free to share what you have going on and what you're building inside of school.
I appreciate it. I'll tell you more about Claria. Actually, it's very exciting right now. So I'll message you more about it. See you, everyone. It's nice meeting you. I appreciate it.
Nice
Thanks for
meeting
the
you.
invite.
Thank you so much.